Hi there. This is a video about CQC quality statements, something new. CQC have been working on these for quite some time actually, and they are, at the time that I'm talking, which is January of 2023, a little bit of a delay in their rollout, but that's not really important in terms of the Cared4 system, as we've done the work really through the October, November, December period of 2022 to address the quality statements. I've intentionally opened this folder, which is our older person system. Having said that, there are quality statements for domiciliary care that we evidence to, learning disability services, and also supported living services. In this folder, you will find around about 50 or so documents that are directly impacted by quality statements. Best off really summarising or going on to summarise the impact in the Cared4 documentation. But first of all, I might just put out a little bit of highlights of what documents you would expect to find impacted by quality statements. So certainly, if I'm looking QP, which by the way are policies in the Cared4 system, you would say, well, comments, suggestions and complaints, health and safety, privacy, dignity and human rights, infection control, duty of candour and safeguarding, and then just further down, risk management. Now, that isn't where the documentation ended, because we've had to add a number of documents to the Cared4 system to comply with quality statements for all or older persons, domiciliary care, etc. And they are at the bottom of this page. There were some new forms as well, but I'm just focusing really on policies impacted by quality statements. So if we look here, waste management was a document that we created as a direct response to quality statements. Lessons learned policy, culturally appropriate care, premises and equipment and allergies and anaphylaxis, and finally safe care and treatment. So I did mention before about summarising quality statements. What do they look like? How many quality statements are there? Can you identify specific documents in the Cared4 system that have been impacted by those? Yes, I can, in answer to all of those questions, because I've pre-opened a few documents, and as I mentioned before, in this folder is a document called CIO1. I don't know if I did mention it, but I pre-opened it, and that is how we're going to locate all of the quality statements and which documents in the Cared4 system have been specifically impacted by specific quality statements. So this document here, as I say, is CIO1, a framework for quality. You will find that in the procedure section of your online Cared4 system and in the continuous improvement subfolder. And as we read down, we're looking in the grey at the quality statements. This is a CQC quality statements. If I remember rightly, I certainly think there are more than 125 of them. There could be 130 of them. When we had key lines of inquiry, I believe there were originally 180 of them, and these are superseding key lines of inquiry. Scrolling down. Now we're in the safe section of quality statements, by the way, which is here, which is in keeping with the original key lines of inquiry. And we are going down to effective quality statements. So again, all the quality statements are here. By the way, regulation is really important. So now we're citing the quality statement and we're also citing the regulation, and you'll see that when I evidence that to my example document. Going down now, I think I might have passed over effective. I have, but this is caring, and all the way down to this document there will be responsive and well-led sections. If I could say one thing about quality statements, as opposed to key lines of inquiry, within key lines of inquiry, we could cite specific sections within the documents which, when read, would describe the intention of the service to meet that key line of inquiry. However, quality statements are far broader. And basically what we're now seeing is, read the whole of this policy. This will address the quality statement. So I'm at the very beginning again of CIO1, and if I scroll down just to the third page here, and I take one example document, which is under Regulation 13, which is, by the way, safeguarding service users from abuse and improper treatment. So all of this regulation, it refers to that regulation. There is a number of documents here, but I've got one document that I wanted to show you as an example, which is QP66 Safeguarding Policy. I've opened up the Safeguarding Policy at the bottom here, and let me just go to the very front of this document. Of course, we have our title, and if there are quality statements within a document, then you will see this in brackets, addresses CQC quality statements. Pretty straightforward, isn't it, really? So going to the back of the document again, we get to this section. It's not a specific page, but it all has a specific format. That quality statement that we've just read on safeguarding, which I'm going to split screen shortly, is here, and it was in the safe section. So I will do that actually. Just let me just split screen now on this quality statement, and this, if you can just see, was the document that we've highlighted. So here we have the CQC quality statement, which is, we work with people to understand what safe being means to them as well as with our partners, etc. That is what we have quoted here. Now I picked out my example document, which was QP66, which was the safeguarding policy, and that was referring directly to Regulation 13. And that is what we've done. In this document, Regulation 13 is referring directly to safeguarding policy, and the content of this document, as we said before, will address the quality statement. I can't say to you, again, go read section or go and read page number. We, after examining the regulation and examining the demands of the quality statement, the document itself will, we are assured, address the quality statement. Looking at this table, there are other sources of required evidence, and we're tying our into referencing to other documents that will support addressing safeguarding issues with service users. Whistleblowing, that's very much tied in. We have forms that would be logging a safeguarding incident, which is what this form is. It's record of actions taken following safeguarding acts. So that's a whole log form and actions form there. And safeguarding would be impacted upon induction and training. In fact, it would be how in induction we would introduce staff to safeguarding, and through staff training, we would ensure that staff are scheduled for the correct spacing of safeguarding training for to ensure that they are updated in accordance with their knowledge and practice. So I hope that really gives you an idea of the Cared4 system in terms of quality statements. I think I mentioned before that there are around about 380 documents. It's thereabouts in the Cared4 system, and these have impacted around about 55 or so documents as quality statements. But what I am assured of having worked at this company for some time now, is the immense detail that we include within the Cared4 system. I believe the Cared4 system is second to none in terms of the level of detail. It is not just about policies and procedures. It is about writing policies on behalf of services that contain content that describes the intention of the service to deliver in both a best and regulated practice way. I believe that is what we have with the Cared4 system. I believe that it's well worth investing in. It's well worth the money. If you're looking at its quality statements and not a customer of the Cared4 system and Betal Quality Consultancy, which is the company name, Cared4 is the product name, then please go to our website and contact details will be on there. Thank you for your time and listening.